Hello, I'm Sophie D'Souza. Welcome to my channel, Sophie Stained Glass. I've had a request for a video about complicated leading. So I took this panel, which was one that's been sitting in my garden for I don't know how long. Someone gave it me. It was very shabby, in very poor shape. In fact, when I took it apart, it seems to me like it was made by somebody who was learning. It wasn't cut very well. Subsequently, I had a devil of a job getting it back together, and I'm not particularly happy about the lack of symmetry. I'm just holding it up so you can see it, sorry. Look at the leaves at the bottom. They're not symmetrical. There's nothing much I can do about that. It was the way it was cut. But that's something you would want to look for when you're leading, symmetry. This video is just me giving you some tips and some proper focusing in on how to lead. Because this is an oval window, I haven't got a jig. Now you do have the option to cut out an oval window jig. That's not what I'm going to do because this is just to sort of, well, it's not for a client, it's just to demonstrate to people. So this will show you another approach anyway, although, you know, it won't be as lovely as if you did make a wooden jig. And you can see me making a round jig on one of my other videos, so that will give you the idea of how to do it, same principle. Just going to start this off. May have to reposition those nails, but it's just to get going really. This has got old gubbins on it, but I'm not going to spend much time on it because this is really, like I say, just to demonstrate leading. So we're just going to start by building up the outside edge. So this will go under the flange there, and I want to cut it about 2 mil short. If I've cut it too long, I will trim it down. Yeah, it's a tiny bit too long. Now for trimming, I'm going to just focus in a bit. So for trimming small bits of lead, I use these nippers. I cut a bit from the top and a bit from the bottom, and that way I don't squash it too much, because if you do try and cut near the edge, you just get this kind of squashy thing happening. So there we go. What you will observe now is that there is no way to get this piece in here. So in order to get this piece in here, we have to remove one of these. But once it's been removed and that's in, we can just slot that back in place. Now, how am I going to approach the lead for this? Let's just check we're focusing on the right bit. Yeah, there we go. So, I think what I'm going to do is take a piece up to here and a piece up to here. Or I could just do the whole thing in one go, and then these pieces will meet into it. Because the other way of doing this leading would be having this piece come around like that, and then this piece meeting it. This is where stopping and thinking is good, because you have to try and imagine the angle of your joints. Would I prefer that? Maybe I prefer that, in which case this will be a short piece, and that will give me an opportunity to show you another approach to lead work, which is bend it around your piece when your piece is not in situ. Okay, I'm just going to cut it off quite flat, and then I'm going to work on the angle where it meets the other lead in a minute. Now, I'm going to cut it nice and long, because I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with the tail end of it yet. But that tells me that that's the angle I want there. So let's try that out and see if we've got a good fit. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, hope you can see how that's fitting. I'm just going to pin it like this, so wide, because it will help me get other pieces in. Now I have to consider, I think I will have it like this. Again, trying to line it up. That feels about right. Okay. Now I need a curved piece. Now this angle might not be right, so you just offer it up, okay. So it works, but what you'll find is you could cut it a bit shorter and it would still work, and it's going to depend slightly on how all these other pieces are going to fit in. So I'm going to fit them all in and see if it's still going together nicely. I'm not going to trim it smaller in case that is not what is going to be required. Yeah, I think it's going to need to be shorter because this won't push up against it. So let's do that. And I'm going to alter the angle as well. And that feels better. just going to push that around a bit. Okay. Now, I'm trying to follow the lines of my rubbing because frankly I won't have much hope of getting it to fit otherwise. So again, I'm going to remove this piece to make it easier to get the leaf in. Fiddly. This is fiddly leading. There we go. Okay. Lovely. Job. It's a good one. Now, this doesn't want to go in a way that's going to make it match up with the rubbing. And I have to say, when I remake a window, it never goes together the way it came apart, and I don't really know why that is. It is just a thing. I'm going to lead this side differently on a whim to see if it makes any difference at the end, because normally I follow the principle of symmetry being best. Now we want a really nice long cut there, so let's do that first. And I'm going to use that same technique I showed you before. Let's just get rid of that dud end. So I'm going to take the heart out. And then I'm going to trim with a pair of scissors. Scissors, scissors, scissors. Oh no, it's too short. This is going to be my lead lead. So this lead will, actually, yeah, should I? Yes. So this one will go into it. And this one will go into it. Now, I am going to do my little trick of removing the heart. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to trim that back, this bit here back later. this piece isn't quite long enough, I don't think. Let's just see. Oh well, maybe. Actually, maybe we will cut it like that. This is going to be a bit too long, but I need to cut it a bit long so that I can then trim it. Go. So that's the mitered bit there. This is not a very nice fit, this piece, I can tell, but none of this window has been fantastic. Actually, just about works. And we'll cut that off there. And we will also cut this . So we have got quite a discrepancy here, and I'm going to see if I can hammer this side of the glass over a bit. So I will just zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. Slightly weird light. Once we've got it moved a bit, still needs to go some more. And then I think we'll try from the other side as well. That is sticking out the bottom. I'm going to cut this lead a bit smaller, see if that will help it shrink. Just take a bit more off. Might help. And actually I might just take a bit of this lead. seems to have got it. So just before I start soldering, I thought I'd show you my complex lead joints. Where lead all meets in a big bunch like this, you have to just decide which piece you're going to extend, which obviously is this piece, and then all the other pieces you cut into them. Now, if you do the method that I have shown you, where you take the heart of the lead out, like with this one, it means it can just overlap and you'll get a nice neat joint, and you do that, you know, wherever you feel like it would help. Here I've done a mitre, and here I did a mitre. I've got a bit of a hole there and there, but I can cover those, no problem. This piece is loose, but if I solder it with angles here and here, it will do the job, no problem. I just couldn't get these pieces together. I mean, they're all right, then it's not terrible, but you know, if I'd cut this window, I'd probably recut this piece. Then on this piece here goes all the way around the outside. Again, all the way around the outside. Then I did these bits slightly differently. So this lead comes like this, but this lead follows around the blue. So this is a short piece here, whereas on this side it's part of this long length. And we'll lead it all up and we'll see if it makes much difference. I would say it probably was easier to lead it like this, and then you don't get a short piece with two tricky angles here and here. So I shall get on and solder now. So thank you for watching. I hope there were some useful things in that video. Every job you do, you have to sort of really give a lot of thought to how you're approaching the lead lines. Every job is different, and you never stop having to think really hard about it, actually. And you might approach something one way and then change your mind and re-lead it another way. That does happen. So yeah, don't worry, just try a few things and see what works. Thank you. Please like, comment and subscribe.